Hello, my name's Harry Cooper. I'm sat in the flat with Connor. Hello, Connor.
Hello, everyone.
He's going to be doing some stuff in the background throughout this vlog / podcast thing. Today, I wanted to talk a little bit about the occlusion system that we've recently developed into the game. The reason we wanted to make our own occlusion system rather than going with Steam Audio's occlusion system is the issue when you use any sort of third-party system that you need to have quite specific control over, as we do for an audio-only game with occlusion, is that you can sometimes end up with a black box sort of situation, which means that when you know that the system works, but you don't understand how specifically it works in the code, and therefore if you need to make certain changes, it becomes very difficult to implement those. Secondly, as an audio game company, and as a company that wants to be the leaders in audio games, we felt it was a good idea to have our own proprietary set of system for occlusion, reverb, and the binauralization of audio sources through HRTFs. At the moment, Steam Audio handles binauralization, but both reverb and occlusion we handle ourselves, which is great. So that's cool. I'm going to give you an example now in Unity to listen to. Okay, so welcome to the pumping station. What you can hear is one of the tannoys to the right. A lot of computers sort of blooping away. And the Emperor doing a radio broadcast, which is happening to the left. Now as I move the character, the player, the first person player, you can hear now to the left that the Emperor is occluded. Now the way this system works, which is quite similar to the way a lot of occlusion systems work, is by sending out a raycast to all appropriate audio sources within a given radius. On that raycast, it looks for objects which are tagged as being an obstacle, in this case walls, and then on those obstacles it finds a component of the game object or a script which tells the occlusion calculator, I suppose, what material it's made of, and therefore how much volume to take off the audio source in the audio mixer, and also the frequency at which to low pass and sometimes high pass the audio source. So that's great for just one wall, but when it works even better is when you can calculate how many specific walls there are. So if there are 2 or 3 or 4 or whatever, then you want the object or the audio source to be more occluded. This whole system is so entirely necessary for occlusion-based puzzles, and so without being able to calculate how many walls there are and changing the occlusion appropriately, you could only ever have a one wall deep occlusion puzzle, whereas if you have 1 to 2 or 3 or 4 or however many more, you need to be able to ramp up the occlusion as there are more walls in place. And that's what our system allows us to do. It's got a bunch of modifiers, and because we write it ourselves, it makes a lot of sense to me, and we can easily make changes. Yeah, so that's the occlusion system. We are working on a first reflection reverb system as well, to give nice reflections off the walls. Again, at the moment we're making use of Steam Audio and Unity's built-in reverb, but we're developing custom plugins via the Juice framework to plug into Unity and create our own system for that as well. So, hope you enjoyed this week's little podcast blog thing. I wanted to keep it snappy because it's fairly technical, but nevertheless, from a developmental standpoint, it's a major step forward, both for us as a company because we can apply this to all our releases, and for the main game because it gives us a great deal more control over key gameplay elements, including occlusion puzzles. Okay, cool. So tune in next week for more updates on the game and have a lovely day.